If you broke your leg today, pain would be terrifying, but the modern world would quickly surround you with help, tools, and time. An ambulance, an x-ray, a cast, pain medicine, clean sheets, and weeks of rest would turn disaster into recovery. You might hate depending on others, but your room stays warm, food arrives, and danger waits outside locked doors. Now remove the room, the ambulance, the pharmacy, and the warm bed. Put the same injury under an ice age sky. 30,000 years ago, walking was not exercise. Walking was how you reached food, fire, water, shelter, and the group itself. The tribe follows stones, wind, and animal tracks. One shortcut across a frozen slope looks useful until one foot slips. There is no dramatic battle, only a twist, a fall, and the terrifying knowledge that the leg no longer obeys. For a moment, everyone freezes. Pain needs no translation, and every face understands the journey has suddenly changed. A broken leg here is not only bone damage, it is lost speed, lost balance, lost safety, and lost control. The planned camp is still far away. The sky is lowering, the wind is rising, and daylight is becoming a resource. In the modern world, injury becomes a medical problem. In prehistory, it instantly becomes a problem for everyone. Someone must find water. Someone must watch the horizon. Someone must decide whether this riverbank is shelter or trap. The injured person fears the pain, but beneath the pain is something older. Will the group still take me? The tribe cannot answer with promises. It answers with action, gathering wood, changing direction, and making a temporary camp. Before we ask whether the bone can heal, we must ask whether the group can survive the decision to care. The first danger is shock. The body shakes, breath shortens, and the injured person suddenly needs warmth more than pride. Today, machines can see the break. Back then, the tribe only saw pain, swelling, fear, and a leg that failed. Every movement becomes a risk. Lift the leg too roughly, and the pain screams. Leave it exposed, and cold begins working. A clean break might heal with enough rest. But rest is expensive when the whole world keeps demanding movement. A worse break could bring infection, fever, and weakness. Without modern antibiotics, the invisible enemy could be inside the body. Cold does not wait politely for healing. It steals energy from the injured body and turns every hour into work. Hunger adds another question. If one person cannot gather food, who gives up part of their meal tonight? Even water becomes distant. A river only a few steps away can feel impossible when those steps belong to a broken leg. And at night, weakness becomes visible. A person who cannot run makes every distant pair of eyes feel closer. The tribe still needs to move. Animals migrate, weather changes, and a safe place today may become empty tomorrow. Move too fast, and the injured person is lost. Stay too long, and the whole group may pay. This is why the old myth is wrong. Prehistory was not simply strong people surviving and weak people disappearing. Everyone becomes weak eventually. The hunter, the child, the elder, the firekeeper, and the person who remembers the trail. If a group abandoned every vulnerable person, it might save food today, but lose trust, memory, and tomorrow's cooperation. So before hospitals had walls, a different hospital existed. Warmth, food, watchful eyes, and people choosing not to leave. Bones cannot tell us every story, but a healed fracture whispers one powerful thing. Someone lived after the dangerous moment. A healed bone does not prove kindness by itself, but it shows time passed, danger continued, and the body kept repairing. To survive long enough for healing, an injured person needs food, warmth, protection, and fewer reasons to move. That means every healed injury may also point toward invisible actions. Sharing, watching, waiting, carrying, or simply staying nearby. Scientists must be careful here. Fossils are fragments, not diaries, and every claim about care needs cautious interpretation. Still, some ancient remains show people living with serious injuries long after the first trauma, and that matters deeply. Imagine someone who cannot hunt today, but can still teach where herds move, which stones cut, and which paths return. Maybe the injured person shapes tools beside the fire. Maybe they watch children while others search the cold landscape. In a world without written maps, memory could be as valuable as muscle, and knowledge could feed people later. This is why usefulness was never one simple thing. A body can slow down while a mind still guides. When the group keeps someone alive, it also teaches everyone watching that belonging is not only earned by speed. A child near the fire learns a rule no one writes down. Today we protect them. Tomorrow someone protects us. Today, we still fear becoming useless. We apologize for needing help, as if dependency makes us less human. But the ancient lesson points the other way. Human life was never built on perfect independence, but shared vulnerability. The broken leg asks a harder question now. If care costs the group, why did humans keep choosing it? Care begins with a cost. Someone gathers extra wood, someone gives up food, and someone sleeps lighter beside the injured body. The hunters cannot range as far. The gatherers must return sooner. The whole map of the day becomes smaller. If 2 people carry water for 1 injured member, those 2 people are not scouting, hunting, or repairing shelter. If 1 person watches the darkness all night, that person wakes tired when morning demands sharp eyes and steady hands. This is the brutal math of compassion. Helping 1 body can make every other body work harder to survive, and the injured person knows it. Shame can burn almost as sharply as pain when every favor feels counted. But shame is not the whole story. Around the fire, the group remembers something every strong person forgets. Injury comes for anyone. The best hunter can fall. The fastest runner can twist a foot. The strongest arm can shake with fever by morning. So care is not charity alone. It is a promise that turns fear into trust before the next disaster. If people believe they will be abandoned when hurt, why risk themselves hunting, sharing, or defending the camp at all? But if the group protects the injured, each member can move through danger knowing weakness will not erase belonging. This trust does not remove hunger or cold, but it lets people cooperate when panic would pull them apart. This is why a healed bone can feel emotional. It may record biology, but it may also record relationship. The skeleton never shows the hand that brought water, yet without that hand, the skeleton might never heal. So the broken leg becomes more than an accident. It becomes a test of whether the tribe is only bodies or a bond. So what could they actually do? Not surgery, not x-rays, not modern casts, but careful hands, stillness, warmth, and patience. The first treatment is not heroic. It is deciding not to move the injured body more than the world already demands. Perhaps branches, hides, or plant fibers become support. We cannot prove every method, but humans knew observation, pain, and restraint. They did not need microscopes to notice patterns. Some wounds calmed when protected, while rough movement made suffering worse. Fire becomes part of treatment. Not magic, not cure, but warmth that stops the injured body from losing strength too quickly. Water becomes medicine too, not because it cures bone, but because thirst can turn pain into confusion, weakness, and panic. Food becomes medicine as well. Healing is work, and a body rebuilding itself still needs energy stolen from the landscape. At night, treatment means attention. Someone notices fever, shaking, strange silence, or the moment pain changes into something darker. The hardest medicine is time. Bone does not obey fear, hunger, weather, or the group's desperate need to move. Every extra day near camp is a gamble. The nearby food thins, the woodpile shrinks, and the horizon keeps calling. So the group adapts. Some travel shorter loops, some guard the fire, and some return with news instead of meat. The injured person adapts too. They sort tools, teach children, remember paths, and turn waiting into another kind of work. If healing succeeds, it may not mean perfect recovery. The leg might remain crooked, weaker, painful, or permanently changed. But even a limp tells a story. Something happened, the body changed, and the group somehow carried survival forward. This is the quiet miracle. Before medicine could fix the bone, people had to protect the time healing needed. Now return to today. Why does needing help still feel embarrassing, even when the room is safe and the danger is gone? Maybe because the ancient brain remembers a harsher world, where slowing down could threaten food, warmth, status, and belonging. For ancient humans, belonging was not a feeling alone. It was calories, firelight, warnings, protection, and voices in the dark. Modern life changed the scenery, but not every alarm. We still fear becoming slow, inconvenient, dependent, or easy to forget. Back in the camp, the injured person may read every glance like a verdict, searching for patience or resentment. The group may feel pressure too. Compassion does not erase frustration when children are hungry and the weather keeps turning. Yet each small act pushes against panic. A shared bite, a warmer hide, a hand steadying the injured leg. Today, we call that support, care, recovery, or community. But the emotional message is ancient. You still matter. A person who receives care today may become tomorrow's watcher, teacher, firekeeper, memory holder, or patient hand. This is how cooperation becomes culture. A useful act survives one crisis, then returns as expectation, story, and habit. The archaeological record is quiet, but every healed trauma invites us to imagine the daily labor behind survival. We should not turn every healed bone into proof of kindness, but neither should we erase care from prehistory. Because the moment one person is injured, the group must answer a question civilization still asks in different forms. Are people valuable only when they move quickly, produce constantly, and never need anyone to stop for them? Or is one of the oldest human truths this: sometimes survival begins when someone decides to slow down beside you? So, could you survive? In a modern room, the answer feels medical. In prehistory, the answer begins with conditions. A simple closed break might heal with rest and protection. A severe open injury could turn dangerous much faster. Season matters. A broken leg near summer water is one story. A broken leg before winter is another world entirely. Landscape matters too. If water, wood, and shelter are close, care becomes possible. If they are distant, every choice tightens. Group size matters. 5 exhausted people can offer less help than a larger band with food, tools, and strong relationships. The injured person's role matters. A teacher, tracker, toolmaker, or beloved elder may be worth more than movement alone. Luck matters most painfully. One cold rain, one bad fever, one predator nearby, and the whole calculation could collapse. Alone, the odds become terrifying. A broken leg turns distance into a wall and silence into a warning. With others, survival does not become easy, but it becomes thinkable. The group turns impossibility into a series of tasks. One person brings water. One feeds the fire. One scans the dark. One shares food. Care becomes distributed survival. But the group cannot pause forever. At some point, healing meets hunger, and the tribe must decide how to move. Maybe they carry the injured person in short bursts. Maybe they support each step. Maybe they leave heavy objects behind. Every solution has a price. Carrying someone saves a life, but it slows escape, weakens arms, and shortens the day. This is why survival was not a yes or no answer. It was a negotiation between body, land, season, and trust. And when trust holds, the broken leg stops being only a wound. It becomes proof that the group can remember you. Today, a broken leg feels survivable because systems catch you. People, rooms, tools, medicine, schedules, and recovery time. In prehistory, the system was smaller and more fragile. A fire, a landscape, a few tools, and people who might stay. The honest answer is maybe. The break, season, infection, shelter, food, luck, and relationships all decide together. A mild season gives more room for mercy. A winter storm makes every act of mercy heavier and more dangerous. But when others gather around you, the injury changes shape. It becomes warmth, water, watchfulness, shared food, and borrowed strength. This is why the first hospital may not have been a building. It may have been a circle of bodies near firelight. Before medicine became a profession, care was already a decision. Slow down, share, protect, remember, and return. Modern life teaches us to fear being a burden. The ancient story quietly asks whether that fear tells the whole truth. Because every human begins helpless, and many survive only because someone stronger, older, or luckier decides to give time. A broken bone can heal in silence, but the choice to care leaves a mark deeper than bone. The strongest did not always survive by walking ahead. Sometimes humans survive because someone looked back and changed pace. Outside the fire, the dark remains huge. Inside the circle, the injured person is not cured, but not abandoned. That may be one of the oldest images of humanity. Not conquest, not comfort, but a group refusing disappearance. So if you broke your leg before medicine, survival would begin with pain, but it might end with people. Before hospitals had walls, shelter was made of hands, memory, firelight, and the promise, you are still one of us.